The 2014 and 15 GMC Sierra that comes from the factory with these cool projector headlights with the daytime running lights on top and bottom use a 55 watt H11 halogen headlight bulb. And it's not that great. In this video, we're going to show you the simple process of increasing your light output by 500%. Seriously, it's as easy as installing a normal HID conversion kit, but it didn't always used to be. You see, the GMC Sierra of this vintage uses a CANBUS and pulse width modulation system to control the headlights. That means if you put any old HID kit in, it works fine with the key off, but as soon as you start the engine, it flickers and shuts off. In this video, we're going to talk about the all-new GTR Lighting Gen 5 PWM CANBUS HID ballast that makes installing HIDs in your truck a breeze. It's a 55 watt ballast making 5,000 lumen of light per bulb, which is 5 times brighter than your original halogen bulb. Inside the kit, you get a few boxes and a few brackets. You've got one box that has your bulbs inside. Really nice bulbs with high temp wiring, really precise fitting bases with nice O-rings, and really beautiful color. Out of all the HID kits we've ever used, we find that the bulbs that come with the GTR Lighting HID conversion kits are the brightest and have the best colors. A lot of times when you go to like a 6,000 or an 8,000 K color, that's a little bit higher up in the spectrum, you get some greenish hues in it that we don't really like to see. But if you use the GTR Lighting 5,000 K HID bulbs, not only will it be a perfectly pure white, but it will also match the color of your daytime running lights. Now the way these HID bulbs work is when you take out the old bulb, the new one fits right in place. You see the 3 alignment tabs here? They mimic the same style and position as your original halogen bulb. Untwist the old one, plug in and twist in the new one. We're going to show you step by step on how to do this install in your truck in just a second. First I want to talk about these new ballasts that came out. The Gen 5 ballast is a super slim ballast. It has a smart PWM and CANBUS system built in that is plug and play for a 55 watt ballast on the GMC Sierra. It also has a built-in EMC filter so you don't get funny things like radio noise. This is one of the fastest starting up ballasts that we've tested. It's a brand new product, and on the Sierra, it's perfect. The way it works is you take out your old halogen bulb, you install your new HID bulb. On one side of the dust cover, you connect the HID wiring to where the original halogen bulb used to be connected, because as you can see, this connector looks exactly like the socket on the old halogen bulb. So where you unplug the halogen bulb, you plug in the new HID bulb wiring. We pass all this wiring through the dust cover. We'll show you that in just a second. And the other side plugs directly into your new Gen 5 ballast. It only goes in one way. Install is very simple. And the last thing you have to do is mount the ballast. The ballast comes with these really slick metal cages. You put in one side, you clip it in, and then you use the supplied double-sided tape to mount it to a clean, flat surface in the truck. This white wire is a ground strap. The idea is if you can ground the bracket, which is touching the ballast, you can ground the ballast. Grounding the ballast is a great way to ensure proper electrical function. You're not going to have any radio interference, and everything is just going to work better if you have a proper electrical circuit installed.
Now I'm going to show you guys how to install HID headlights on your GMC Sierra. Now, for the sake of the video, we're going to put the camera in the engine bay so that you can see what I'm doing behind the headlight. It's the only way we could get good footage. So keep that in mind. The camera's here, the headlight's here, we'll be working right here. Okay, so on the back of the headlight, you'll see you have a dust cover, and this is the driver's side of the vehicle. To remove the dust cover, you just turn it counterclockwise, pull it out, and inside of there you're going to see a light bulb with a 2-pin connector on it and some wiring. I'll pull that out for you so you can see it there. And to remove that connector, you just lift up on the tab. You can lift up on it with your thumb or your finger. It pops up pretty easy. Pull the bulb away, and you'll be left with your connector. Now I'm going to show you how to pass your wiring through the dust cover and drill the hole for your grommet.
The first thing you want to do is drill the hole. Decide where your light bulb is going to fit behind the dust cover and drill the hole near that point. We're going to use a tool called a unibit or a step bit. On the inside here you can see the different levels of the size of hole that it will cut, and we're going to try and shoot for a 7/8 inch hole. That's almost a full inch. If you go a full inch, it'll still work, but your seal won't be quite as tight. You want as small of a hole as possible in your dust cover to make the best seal. So first, let's drill it out. Simply decide where you're going to drill the hole, put the bit in that spot, and use common sense not to hurt yourself or damage your table. If you can't do this without hurting yourself, don't do it. I'm going to get it started, and I'm going to reposition so I have better control. I'm just going to go all the way through because I know about where 7/8 of an inch is. Made a big mess, but it's all just plastic shavings that are easy to clean up. If I position this so I can see it, I can put this through and gauge that I am at right about 7/8 of an inch. I think 3/4 of an inch is too small. 1 inch is an okay size, but maybe too big. 7/8 is really the perfect size for almost any HID conversion kit. The purpose of drilling the hole is to pass half of the wiring through the dust cover to the outside of the headlight housing. And the idea is to preserve the function of the dust cover. The dust cover keeps dust and moisture and bugs and animals outside of your headlight that they can access from the back side. Think about it, if you had this big open gap in your headlight and you're driving on a dirt road or through the rain, it's going to get a lot of debris inside the headlight. We want to keep that weatherproof seal as tight as possible. So we can't just put the bulb in and have the wiring come out like that. We want to retain the dust cover. So we're going to pass these wires through and then use this rubber grommet to seal up that hole. It's a really smart system that works really well. The only tricky part is this connector that plugs into your ballast is too big to fit through a 1 inch or 7/8 inch hole. So we're going to take that apart. There's basically 2 steps to take it apart. The first is along the bottom side of this connector, there's a retaining clip. It's held in place by a shoulder here and a shoulder here. Using some type of a screwdriver or a pick tool, you're going to want to release that clip from the shoulders on each side. Now that we have that off, the shoulders on either side of the bulb that hold in the retaining clip are still in the way. In order to get the pins out, you would use a really small screwdriver, like a flat jeweler's screwdriver or a pick tool. What we're going to use is a purpose-built de-pinning tool. What we're going to use is the OTC part number 4461 terminal release tool set. Inside we have different picks and screwdriver type tools of different shapes and sizes. This is the one that I like to use. It's just like a really small pick, and we've used it enough that now it has kind of a curve to it. What we're going to do is examine the top of the HID connector, you see it's shaped like a T. You see the T shape? On the bottom portion of the T, or on the inside of this opening, there's a slot where this pick tool will go in. If you put your pick tool in over here, you're going to hit the pin. We want to go on this side. And then once you go down to about the bottom of the travel as much as you can, don't push it, you just rest it in there. If you push it toward that wire or toward that pin, the pick tool will go this way and press on a release lever inside. Push it to the outside, hold everything in place, and remove the wire. What we're doing in here is releasing this spring lever, because when you put it inside, this is what grabs. Now we're going to reset it because I pushed on it pretty hard, and now that it's been pushed in, it won't grab anymore. This spring clip is what we're depressing when I go in here. Now that we have that big bulky connector off, we can easily pass this wiring through the dust cover. Get it all pulled through. And then the rubber grommet has a recessed slot all the way around. And that is going to fill in the gap in the hole we drilled. You see if I get it here, it's not fitting through. You have to carefully fold the flaps of the rubber grommet around until they kind of sandwich on the outside of this hole that we drilled, and just work it around in a circle until the whole thing pops into place. Now give it a tug to seat it, and you can see we have the lip completely covering the hole on this side and completely covering the hole on this side. Now that you have the wiring installed on the dust cover, you can put your one connector back together. Now it's important to note the orientation of the wires in the connector before you take it all apart. So examine your other HID wiring, take a picture, write some notes so you put this back together the exact same way. When you put it in, you want to hear an audible click. If you don't hear that click, or you tug on it and the wires pop out, that little spring release lever still needs some help. Take it out, pull that spring lever back out, and then put it in. We're going to put our retaining clip back on, pop it up, and now we're ready to go. At this point, you're ready to replace your original halogen bulb with the new HID bulb.
All right, now that you've done the dust cover modification, it's time to install the HID bulb into the factory location. To do that, you just put it right back where that other bulb was and turn it clockwise, and it's kind of a tight fit. There we go. Take this little harness here and connect it to the factory harness. Make sure that red matches up to red. It should, and with all that done, go ahead and tuck the slack into the headlight and reattach the dust cover. The dust cover has little slots that line up in the headlight just like that. Turn it clockwise to lock it. And now we just have to install our ballast. All right, to install the Gen 5 ballast, go ahead and attach it to its mounting bracket that it comes with, and remove the tape on the back side. So you can see the tape's been removed. And I just stick it right down here. Now if you have a secondary battery, like if you've got the diesel engine, or if you've got dual batteries, you can just stick it above the battery. There's plenty of room everywhere over here. Go ahead and plug the power harness for the ballast into the harness that you ran outside of the dust cover. and make your ballast connections. And that's it. That's all you have to do. You can zip tie or tidy up the wiring however you see fit, and your HID system should operate just fine. Now would be a good time to test it and make sure everything's working as it should be. All right, we just got done doing the driver's side headlight install. Now the passenger side is the exact same thing, aside from having to remove the air box. It's not a big deal. Just undo the hose clamp for the hose and it pops right up and out of there. And then you can access it just like this side. It's the same exact thing.
So this HID headlight install doesn't have to be tough if you use the right parts. The new GTR Lighting Gen 5 PWM and CANBUS module is a 55 watt ballast that's totally plug and play. Increase your light output, have better style headlights, and see where you're going better at night all the time. We have other GMC Sierra videos on our channel, so go check them out, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss what we come out with next. We do product reviews, education, and other vehicle install tips and tricks. Thanks for watching.